قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد, dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to our Saturday program of Ask Zad, coming to you live after Maghrib prayer in Mecca region. Our first three questions from the emails as usual. Shagufta says, in the subcontinent, we have functions before the wedding called haldi and mehndi, where women apply turmeric to the bride, and on mehndi night, they apply henna and have a get together, and it's very common amongst Muslims from many years. Is this permissible? Generally speaking, the default is that such gatherings and celebrations are permissible unless they go against an Islamic principle or they are imitating the disbelievers and their customs and traditions. So if this practice is being done by the Muslims, all of them in the subcontinent, and they do not involve music, dancing, or free mixing, which is in most cases, if it does not involve anything haram, and it does not involve rituals of the Hindus, this is permissible. So haldi, for example, or haldi, is usually applying turmeric paste, which is mixed with rose water or with milk or with different cultures, depending on what they use. And they put it on the face, the neck, the chest, and the arms of both the boy and the girl. And it's supposed to be detoxifying impact, releases the stress, removes dead cells of the body, and it makes a person glow. This is halal. If this is what it is used for, no music, no free mixing, which is hopefully the case. But if it involves Hindu rituals, thinking that after this process, a bride or a groom must not leave the house except to the wedding for fear of the evil eye, or if they tie a red thread, and this is common, or use forms of amulets to prevent evil eye, and this is also common. This is shirk. This is totally prohibited, and it falls under imitating the disbelievers. If they have this concept of, if the groom would apply some of it to his cousins or siblings who are not married, they will get married soon, as a form of a good luck gesture. This is haram, and it's imitating the Hindus, and so on. Mehndi, or applying henna for decoration, this is only applicable for women. So if it is to beautify the bride only in women's circle, without exposing any awra, without any music, without anything haram, again, this is permissible, inshallah. It all depends on the circumstances, on the niyyah, and on what goes on, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Muhammad says, I have heard that negligible amount of impurity is excused. How much is this negligible amount? The vast majority of scholars, Muhammad, say that any amount of impurity is not exempted and excused, whether a lot or negligible. Amount of impurity is found, this renders it to be impure. This is the opinion of the vast majority of scholars. Some scholars, and this is the opinion of Abu Hanifa school of thought, they say that negligible amount that usually is not detected by eyesight, as small as the tip of a needle. They say that this is negligible because it's close to impossible to avoid it. And this amount is so negligible that it is barely seen. And this is the opinion of the Hanafi school of thought, Sheikh Al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, and also Sheikh Muhammad ibn Uthaymeen, may Allah have mercy on his soul, said that this is fine in case of someone with OCD as a form of reducing his tension and easing his suffering. So a person who suffers from OCD and is always having these thoughts that he's impure, there is an impurity here or there, Shaykh ibn Uthaymeen says we can apply this concept of negligible impurity is neglected, is exempted, when a person suffers from such a case, a mental case. But to follow the vast majority opinion, which says that yes, you have to stay in normal cases, yes, there is no exemption, is the most authentic opinion. Only for those with OCD that we can overlook some of the negligible amounts of impurities to help them improve their situation. Zain says, what actually is isbal? What length is permissible? If it is touching the ankle bone, is it sufficient? And some people say that if you wear the lower garment below the ankle without pride, then it's okay. Need your guidance. First of all, isbal is a noun. And the word for it used in the Sunnah is an adjective, which is al-musbil. And al-musbil is a person who wears his garment, trousers, thobe, whatever he wears from waist down, that exceeds and covers the ankle area. So up to the ankle, you're safe. Above the ankle, by 4 or 8 fingers, you're following the Sunnah. If you reach the ankle and you hide part of it, you are in the danger zone, but still it's not sinful. The moment the ankles are hidden and covered by your trouser or by your thobe or by a garment or by your waist wrapper, then you have fallen into the category of isbal. The Prophet ﷺ said, whatever exceeds the ankles is in hellfire, meaning that the owner will be tormented in hellfire. And there is no difference between whether a person does it out of pride or out of a mistake, except in the gravity of the punishment. So if a person does it by mistake or unintentionally, in this case, he is tortured and tormented in hellfire for this little area. But if he does it out of arrogance and pride, then Allah Azza wa Jal would not look at him on the day of judgment, nor speak to him. And Allah Azza wa Jal would not purify him, and He will punish him severely. And this is when pride is involved. So either way, it is punishable in hellfire, but the gravity of the punishment is increased due to pride and arrogance. When it's not with pride and arrogance, then only that area of your body would be tormented in hellfire. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect us all. So we have Irfan from the UK.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
May Allah reward you, Sheikh, Jazakallah.
Ameen.
Just want to make sure that my earning will be halal or not. I haven't not started something. I live in the UK. I am an owner of, I have a professional Amazon selling account with me, but obviously I have a 9-to-5 job. I'm not able to run that. I have an opportunity that some people back home from my country, they can run this account on behalf of me, and they're asking me that you invest £2,000 in it, and you will get 35% of I don't know, of profit, or every month or something like that. Not every month, but 35% of the business. And they will drop ship on this account in the USA. Would you please just confirm, is that my earning will be halal from this or not? They cannot clearly display a drop shipping agent. Amazon does not let them do that.
I will answer,
salam
inshallah.
Contract will not be applicable.
I will answer, inshallah. Hamza from Bosnia.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Kako si, Sheikh?
Dobro, alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. My today's question is for a friend. If we perform ghusl as per the Sunnah while we are not in the state of impurity, like for Friday, for example, will it suffice for wudu if we delay washing our feet until the end? Jazakallah khairan.
Wa jazak. And Muhammad from the Philippines.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Hi, Sheikh. May Allah grant you a healthy life, Sheikh.
Ameen, and you as well.
Ameen, Sheikh. So my question, Sheikh, is, Sheikh, how can we maintain the feeling of remorse after committing a sin? Because sometimes we may not feel the remorse after committing a sin. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh.
Wa jazak. And Salihin from Canada.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, Sheikh, my question is regarding a woman who is menstruating and is traveling, let's say, from North America to somewhere in the subcontinent, and the flight is really, really long, and she becomes pure mid-flight, so she's not able to take a ghusl or anything like that. So how would she go about praying her salah, and does she wait, or does she make wudu and pray or whatever? Please explain, Jazakallah khair.
I will, inshallah. Muhammad from the US.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, my question is, as I was born and brought up in Bangladesh, and because of a better future, we moved to US. Now we are living in the US, but as comparatively, Bangladesh was better, Islamic country, supporting Fridays off, praying in Jama'ah, and we had a lot of opportunities. But here we're facing a lot of issues. Cannot pray Jummah prayer, cannot pray on time, we're missing a lot of things. And my question is, will we be questioned in the day of judgment why we were living in a kufr country while we had the opportunity to live in a Muslim country, to live a better life as a Muslim?
Okay, I will answer, inshallah. Ahnaf from Bangladesh.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
So if a layman is having difficulty in following a ruling and it's an issue of dispute, and the sheikh his sheikh follows the opinion that's difficult for him. Since it's an issue of dispute and it's really causing him hardship. So for this particular issue, can he follow the easy opinion of a trusted sheikh? Just one.
Okay, I will answer inshallah. Fuad from Bangladesh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear Fadilatu Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you, dear Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah.
Sheikh, my question is, we know that it is not allowed to install cracked version software.
It is
but
what?
Now, Sheikh, cracked version software.
I don't understand.
Hello.
Sheikh, crack version software.
Cracked virgin. Okay.
Yes, Sheikh. But now most of the CD or DVD copying software available in the market, such as Microsoft Windows, Adobe Photoshop, etc. So what can we do in this situation? Can we buy those CD or DVDs? Barakallahu fi hayatik.
Ufik barakallah. Muhammad from India.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, I prayed Isha Salah and the Imam prayed so fast that it was difficult to say the tasbih. In the fourth rakah, I forgot to recite Fatiha for some seconds, and then I started reciting. As soon as I started, the Imam said the takbir and he went to ruku, and I mistakenly said Al, but I did not complete it. So I then recited the Fatiha, and then the Imam came up. I still went to ruku, then followed the Imam. I forgot if I recited the Fatiha properly though. Is my salah valid? Should I repeat my prayer as the time of Isha is still going on?
Okay, I will answer inshallah. Akbar from India.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
I joined the congregation after one rakah in Asar prayer, and Imam mistakenly led 5 rakahs. Do I have to do sajda sahu with him? And what should I do if he is to pray the whole prayer again due to lack of authentic knowledge?
So you did not pray the first rak'ah with the Imam. You came to the second rak'ah, and the Imam prayed 5, correct?
Correct, Sheikh.
Okay, I will answer inshallah. And Kauthar from India.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
I heard from old people that we must not study worldly education between Asr and Maghrib. How true is it?
Worldly education like school?
School or something related from Deen, everything like.
Okay, I will answer inshallah. Fawzan from Indonesia.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Does a person have to confess to others every time he or she deliberately or accidentally lying to others? Or is it only mandatory to confess if the lie will cause any harm or disadvantage to others? Because for example, Sheikh, if a guy unconsciously make a joke that sounds like disrespecting to his friend, and then his friend said to him with a serious tone, "Did you just underestimate me?" And the guy was afraid to make his friend feel sad. So he accidentally lied to his friend to comfort him, but then he directly realized it was a lie, So he wanted to confess, but he was doubtful that it will not give any benefit and only make enmity between them. So what is the rule of thumb on confessing our lie?
I will answer inshallah. Bakr from Saudi.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Yes, I was thinking about possibly in the future, in my older years, maybe joining the military, but I look around and I see a lot of the Muslim countries don't fight in Islamic jihad in the way of Allah. And I'm young and I want to take advantage of, alhamdulillah, the advantage I have in my younger years and to maybe fight in what is jihad, but I can't find any such opportunity in the world.
Okay, I will answer inshallah. And Ali from Qatar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh.
Salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have 3 questions. Can I ask?
One only.
Okay, no problem. Sheikh, why I have one doubt, like why from Ibn Kathir tafsir many hadiths are removed? Because using that hadith we can prove many of Sufi ideas.
I don't understand your question.
No, Sheikh, in Ibn Kathir tafsir.
Yes.
Ibn Kathir tafsir, some hadiths are removed, right?
Who removed it?
In the English version.
Okay.
So why it is removed? Because using that hadith, we can prove many Sufi ideas. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, I will answer inshallah. And we have Sifat from Bangladesh. Sifat?
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, my question is, once upon a time, a Shia friend told me that Imam Bukhari quoted a hadith from a Kharijite named Imran ibn Hussein. So how to answer him, please?
Imran ibn Hussein is a companion. How can he be a Khariji?
This is what he told me.
Okay, I will answer inshallah. And Nasra from the US.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
Okay, so I do online schooling, and there's a class that's called Robotics Dance Programming, where you make the robot like make sounds or change its facial expressions and more. So is changing the facial expressions of the robot online permissible, or does it come under the same ruling as drawing?
Okay, I will answer inshallah. And Namira from Georgia.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
I wanted to know, like, the hadith states that if a person dies by a wall which falls on his head, he is considered a martyr. So, does anything falling on the head is considered like a pole or anything, like if he's crushed under anything?
Okay, I will answer inshallah. Rashad from Tunisia.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum assalam.
What is the ruling on warning against the popular alim? Because he said that we can congratulate Christians for their Eid, or should I be quiet because they call him Al-Imam Al-Akbar and many people are following him? Jazakallah khair.
What is the what at the beginning? What is the ruling on what?
The ruling on warning in Facebook.
Warning. Okay. And Abayil from Pakistan. Abayil. Labib from Bangladesh.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, my question is like just like 2 hours ago or 1 hour ago, I performed wudu for Isha prayer, and before performing wudu, I applied a petroleum jelly on my face, like in some part of the face, not full. So it was greasy, and when I did wudu, and after I prayed, now when I touched, I didn't feel any greasiness part on my face. I'm wondering, was my wudu valid, and was my prayer valid too?
Okay, I will answer inshallah. And Yusuf from the Netherlands.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, I'm asking for a few years ago I gave my brother an account for a game, and now he started playing again. Am I sinful, and what to do if he doesn't want to get off?
So you did an account for your brother, which is haram or what?
No, I gave my account for the game in which there's music and violence, and now he started playing on it.
And you cannot cut this account from him, disconnect it?
No, I don't know how to.
You don't what?
I don't know.
What do you mean? It's your account. You can disconnect it and cancel it.
Yeah, should I do it when he doesn't look? Or?
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah. We have a short break. Stay tuned, and inshallah, we'll be right back.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I'm going to talk about the book Interactions of the Greatest Leader. Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no one's wealth helped me as much as the wealth of Abu Bakr helped me. After which Abu Bakr began to weep and say, and is my life and wealth for anything besides you, O Messenger of Allah? This narration shows the level of etiquette and humbleness that Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, had in the presence of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For he likened himself to a slave of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam by saying that his wealth was only for the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as well as his soul and self. This comes as no surprise, for the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has more right on the believers than themselves. He, may Allah be pleased with him, spent his wealth in the cause of Allah, and he consoled the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam through his own self. So the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam recognized that for him and said, in order to build his stature and to remind the ummah of his virtues, no one's wealth helped me as much as the wealth of Abu Bakr helped me. Among the benefits of this narration, it is important to keep good manners and humbleness in the presence of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Thanking someone who has bestowed some favor on you, as well as supplicating for them, is part of having good manners. Reported by Al-Bukhari, reported by Al-Tirmidhi, and Ibn Majah. Albani ruled it authentic in his book Sahih Al-Jami', the explanation of As-Sindi on the book of Ibn Majah, and At-Taysir بشرح Al-Jami' Al-Saghir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome back. Irfan from the UK asked a question about an Amazon account that he has. Some of his friends or relatives want to operate this account on his behalf, and they want him to invest £2,000 when they will give him 35% from the profits. So, assuming that the capital is £2,000, and they make whatever they make from that, and they give him 35% of whatever they make, and 65% they take for their own. This is halal, providing that there is a possibility of him losing all or some of that £2,000, because this is the capital. It cannot be guaranteed, because if it's guaranteed to come back to you 2,000, this is a loan. A business transaction or a partnership is when you put the money and there's a possibility of loss occurring or profit generated. And if you are getting 35% off the profit, not of the capital, so you will not get 35% from the 2,000. Rather, you will get from the profit generated of the 2,000. Then this is permissible. As for the drop shopping is not permissible because they sell what they do not possess. And we've mentioned this before, that the hadith of Hakim ibn Hizam, the Prophet said to him, alayhi salam, do not sell what do you not possess or own. And the way out of this is that you use the transaction of as-salam. The salam transaction is selling something that you do not possess, which is an exemption of the previous prohibition, providing that there are three conditions to be fulfilled. Number one, the item sold must be clearly described where there is no room for ambiguity. So it's not permissible to say, I'll sell you oranges. What kind of oranges? There are oranges that can be eaten. There are oranges that only are used for juice. There are big oranges, small oranges, depending on the origin and the country. So this is not permissible just to say, I'll sell you oranges or a kilogram of oranges. It has to be specific type and described thoroughly. Condition number 2 is that you receive beforehand the full amount. So we agree on selling you a kilogram of oranges for the price of €2. You have to give me the €2 ahead of time, full, not €1 and €1 when delivery. No, the full amount has to be given up in advance. Condition number 3, that the date is specified, approximate date. So I sold you 1 kilogram of this specific brand of oranges for €2, and I'll deliver it in 2022. Nope, that's not permissible. You have to state in the first week of January, between the first and the second week of January. You cannot leave it indefinitely like this. If these 3 conditions are fulfilled, you can go ahead with this transaction. Hamza from Bosnia, he says, if I perform ghusl according to the Sunnah, so I'm following the steps of the Sunnah, which, as you all know, it includes wudu. So if I do this and I perform a full wudu, with the exception of delaying my washing of the feet till the end of the ghusl, would my wudu be valid? The answer is the gap is negligible. So washing the rest of your body would not take more than a minute or half a minute. And the whole area is wet and the whole body is wet. So it's negligible and inshallah is valid. But to be on the safe side, make a full wudu with washing the feet to be safe. Muhammad from the Philippines, how do we get the feeling of remorse after sinning? It is not something that you swallow a pill for that or take an injection. Remorse is a result of a number of factors. Number 1, of acknowledging that you have sinned. Number 2, acknowledging that you have disobeyed Allah. Number 3, knowing who Allah is. So, and you can add to that, number 4, not knowing whether Allah will accept your repentance or not. And many more. All these factors, when they come together and you realize that you have done a grave and serious mistake and you've disobeyed Allah and you're not sure whether Allah would forgive you or torment you for it, this intimidates you. This throws fear in your heart. And this results in you not wanting to do that sin anymore and being regretful for what you had done. This is remorse. Now, if you can't find the feeling of remorse, then you have a big problem. And this is not something that you can say, okay, what should I do? Should I beat myself up? No. Simply acknowledge the fact that there is a very big possibility that you'll be thrown into hell on the day of judgment because of your sin. And you're not feeling any remorse. You're not feeling any fear or regret. Well, tough luck. What can I do for you? You have to generate this by knowing who Allah is and the gravity of your sin. Salihin from Canada, a woman who's traveling for 13, 14 hours on a plane, happened to end her menses while flying, and she saw her purity. Of course, she cannot perform ghusl on an airplane. So what to do? Allah mentioned this twice in the Quran. And Allah tells us to perform dry ablution, known as tayammum. So if a woman sees her purity and she wants to pray, she should strike the seats or the floor and wipe her face and wipe her hands. This is known as tayammum, which is a substitute for those who cannot use water to perform ghusl and to uplift their major ritual impurity, and those who cannot perform wudu. But she can perform wudu. So once she does this to uplift her major ritual impurity, she can go to the toilet and perform wudu and pray afterwards. Muhammad from the US, he says, I was born and raised in Bangladesh and traveled to the US for a better job. And now I'm residing there. Maybe he got the green card, maybe he got citizenship, but it's not a Muslim country. He cannot pray Jumu'ah on time. He cannot pray normal prayers at ease in the masjid because it's a kafir country. So will he be accountable on the day of judgment for doing such a thing? I don't know. Migrating to a kafir country is not permissible. The suffering that the Muslims face in such kafir countries is great. They are prosecuting them softly in the media, accusing them of terrorism, accusing them of extremism. They want them to leave all of their beliefs and conviction and follow their kafir way. All over the country, all over Europe, take off your hijab, shave your beard. You're not allowed to pray in the masjid. And if you pray in the masjid, there are rules. And if we don't like you, we're going to close your masjid. And we're going to accuse you of extremism and defying the unity of the country. I am a citizen of that country. I'm like you. There's nothing different between me and you. Same ID card, the same upbringing. The only difference is that I'm a Muslim and you're not a Muslim. Well, tough luck. You have to follow the way of our life. This is a tyrant way of doing it. A dictatorship way of doing it. I have my convictions. I have my religion. What do you mean I have to leave? Where is the freedom of religion? So they're shoving their way down our throats. They don't want you to be a Muslim. You want to be a Muslim? You have to drink wine, eat pork, leave your prayer. It's a must that you shake hands with the opposite gender. Why would I? It's against my religion. So, well, then this means you're an extremist. Okay, if I want to go a little bit further and kiss on the cheek and maybe hug and maybe do something else. Oh, no. This is inappropriate. Why? Why shaking hands is appropriate and not the whole 9 yards? This is awkward. This is weird. But this is the disbelievers' way of dealing with the Muslims. And the Muslims, they went to them. So you left your Muslim country, you went there. Okay, you go there for some time to gain money, start a business, and go back to your country. No problem. But to settle and live there, and you let your children grow as Americans and live the American way, and probably end up doing drugs or LGBTQ and refusing Islam. And then you ask, will Allah hold us accountable? Of course. So I can't answer your question specifically for your case, but if you have the ability to go back home and live among the Muslims, you have to do that. Ahna from Bangladesh. I follow a sheikh, and in that particular issue, the sheikh is following an opinion that is difficult for me. I know there's a difference of opinion among scholars. Can I switch? The answer is no. If you're a layman, you cannot cherry pick and start collecting whatever you like from different shuyukh and making your own new religion. This is not Islam. If you're a student of knowledge and you have the ability to look into evidences and see the proximity and see how close these evidences are, and you find that there is a room of maneuver and that you can pick and choose whatever you like, then this is okay. Fuad from Bangladesh, cracked versions of software. It's not permissible to use. So everything is sold and it's violated copyright-wise. It's like stealing. It's not permissible to buy stolen goods. If you don't have the ability, don't buy it. Muhammad from India, his imam was a Ferrari imam. In India, probably he was a Tata imam. He was praying so fast, so quick, that he could not even say Subhana Rabbi al-Azim, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. If this is the case and everybody was complaining, then repeat your prayer. Your prayer behind this imam, his prayer himself is invalid. But if everybody else was okay and you had a heavy, slow tongue, and it was your problem, in this case, what you should do is look into your prayer. If you were late because of your own shortcomings, you have to pray again. If the imam himself was fast and everybody acknowledged that he was fast, his prayer, the imam, is not valid, but you and those with you, because you had no other choice, you're already in the salat, your delay of going into ruku' while he's coming up and being delayed for this reason, inshallah your prayer is valid and you don't have to repeat it. So let me repeat again. If he's too fast, everybody acknowledges it, your prayer is valid, but don't pray behind him next time. If everybody was fine with his prayer and his speed, and you're the only one who is finding him too fast, you have to repeat your prayer. Akbar from India, he came 1 rak'ah late. The imam, instead of praying 4, prayed 5. If Akbar, you knew that when he stood up for the 5th, that he was adding an extra rak'ah, you must not pray behind him. Rather, you must stand up for your own 4th rak'ah and intend that I'm praying alone and leave the congregation. Because the imam stood up for an invalid rak'ah, so you cannot follow him accordingly. Kauthar from India, the elders say that we must not study worldly sciences between Asr and Maghrib. This is bogus, totally baseless. You can study it whenever you want. Fawzan from Indonesia, do I have to confess to people if I did something wrong to them? No. Generally speaking, it would lead to more harm than good. So don't confess, but don't lie. So someone says to you, did you say so and so against me or about me? Dodge the question. Don't say, no, I didn't, when actually you did. You can say, me? You're kidding. How could I say such a thing? You didn't say, I didn't. Dodge the question. Say anything that would allow you to avoid this. Bakr from Saudi wants jihad and he wants to join his country's army, but he says that most countries don't fight an Islamic jihad. Well, if your country is an Islamic country, and if joining the army means that you will be able to defend your country, and you won't be involved in haram things, that they will not force you to shave, They will not force you to skip prayers. They will not force you to transgress against other Muslim countries and engage in their false wars. If none of this is going to happen, then yes, you can join your country's army with the intention of jihad, and Allah will reward you for that, inshallah. Ali from Qatar, he is talking about a translation of Tafsir ibn Kathir, and that they've removed hadiths from it that could have benefited in replying to the Sufis. First of all, I don't read English, so I've never gone through Tafsir ibn Kathir in English. Secondly, I don't know what hadiths you're talking about, but most likely they would not remove it unless it was weak. So probably the hadith that they have removed were weak. And so many translations of tafsir, instead of having the full size of the book translated, they give you the concise version where they drop so many repeated hadiths in the tafsir, or some of the agreed upon weak narrations. And this depends on their policy. Sifat from Bangladesh, he says that he has a Shi'i friend that claims that one of the men of Bukhari, his name is Imran ibn al-Husayn, and that he was a Khariji. First of all, how can you befriend the Shia? Someone who curses your own mother, Mother Aisha. He slanders her, curses Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and the vast majority of companions. How can you take such a person as a friend? Definitely, you have to reassess your contact list. Such a person should be totally boycotted and ignored. Secondly, their religion is fabricated. How do you accept anything from them about our religion? Imran ibn Husayn is a companion. How can he be a Khariji? And I advise our brothers and sisters not to take anything about the Quran and the Sunnah from a Christian or a Jew or an atheist or a Shia or a Qadiani or a Baha'i. They are not trusted to speak about our own religion, let alone criticize or teach you something you don't know. So definitely this is preposterous and you should not pay attention to it. Nasra from the US, she works on an online program, and in this program they're supposed to change the facial features of robots. We've discussed this before and said that doing robot engineering is halal. There's no problem in doing that. Most assembly lines now are run by robots. What is haram is to make a robot in the human form or a living creature's form. So making it as a dog or as a human being with a head and arms and a body, this is a statue. This is totally prohibited. Likewise, having a facial features, a face of a robot with eyes and nose and mouth, and editing this and changing it and adding things to it, this is totally prohibited. Namira from Georgia, she says, I've heard a hadith where the Prophet said, alayhi salam, that a person who dies under a collapsing building is a martyr. So does that mean anything that falls and kills a person would be considered the same? The answer is no. The hadith is specifically mentioning a collapsing building, because people who die under a collapsed building would not usually die instantly. They would suffer, they would be locked for days without food and drinks, maybe without air, and then they die. Such suffering elevates their situation to martyrdom, inshallah. Unlike if a person was walking under a skyscraper and somebody drops a rock and it falls on his head and kills him. He did not die under a collapsed building, so would not share the same reward, and Allah knows best. Rashad from Tunisia. There is this Maulana, there's Mufti, this scholar who says that it is permissible to congratulate the Christians in their Christmas and New Year and religious festivals. So can we warn people against him on Facebook? The answer is yes. And the best form of warning is not to address that person specifically or mention him by name. Who am I to criticize someone like him? Rather, bring the fatwas from Islam Q&A, from Al-Lajna Al-Da'ima of Al-Ifta, from Saudi Arabia, of great renowned scholars condemning such a behavior and act, and showing the people and the masses that this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Labib from Bangladesh, he applied some Vaseline-like or jelly on his face, then performed wudu. When he washed his face and rubbed his face, he could not see any traces of it. But after Salat, when he started doing this, there was this creamy feeling. So is his wudu and Salat valid? The answer is yes, it is valid. And finally, Yusuf from Holland, he says, I had an account of a game which involved music and violence. And I gave access to my brother. Now my brother is hooked and he plays this all the time. So would I be sinful for that? The answer, definitely yes. Of course you're sinful. You're the one who guided him. Every time he plays and commits these sins, you're being accredited for these sins. What to do? It's your account. Log in, delete your account, end of story. Now, if he wants to create a new account of his, this is his problem. Ask Allah for forgiveness, try to show it to him and explain to him that this is not beneficial. If you fail, you've done your job. Be remorseful, repent, do good deeds, and hopefully Allah will forgive you. But you cannot leave him as he is without advising him, without correcting him, and without deleting your account. And Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. This is all the time we have until we meet you tomorrow at 4 o'clock, inshallah, Mecca region time. I leave you fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين